especially, but
Okay, so let me go full screen.
it seems
And
to
wow, you're on the double veil at the moment. That's okay. You look beautiful anyway.
do one veil.
Okay, is that just one? Okay.
Yeah, that's just one. Yeah, sometimes I feel shy.
Let's see.
That's
You don't
just
have to
one.
be shy.
The other one is
So
so
you went to Paris, London, LA, and I was wondering about your decision to stay in London because I would have thought moving from Paris to London is a kind of downward way to go. But maybe London, when you went there, was more like a happening place than Paris. But
but
I've
yeah.
always loved Paris, and I've never, to be honest, enjoyed spending much time in London. So can you explain why you stayed in London?
Well, I think they're complementary cities. I think maybe Paris is more beautiful aesthetically,
Definitely.
but but tell me one interesting thing that has come out of Paris in the last 50 years. I mean,
50. Well, Betty Blue was like the first thing that blew my mind. I don't know if it was Paris, but Betty
yeah, but that
Blue.
was a film.
Yeah, you mean like a singer?
Well, like
Mm,
art movements,
an art movement. Well,
you know,
Air, you know this band Air? I quite liked
yeah,
them when I was
I
coming
don't
through,
like
and there was
that.
you don't like Air. What about the sort of there was a Daft Punk and this sort of electronic music
Yeah, well, you know
scene?
what they call the French touch. But you know the guy who signed all these people at Virgin in France, they signed them because he was a big fan of mine, and because I was the first kind of French singer that kind of did it internationally on an
Mhm.
international level. Not like when Piaf went to sing in New York, but kind of in English speaking language and that kind of stuff. So he thought, oh, I can see, I'm going to create this kind of French touch thing, So, I have been very influential on a lot of levels, but a lot of people in this business have got huge egos, and they
Yeah.
take your ideas and they pretend it's their ideas, You know what it's like? And so I haven't had really the break that I deserve, because I have really influenced a lot of people, even a lot of popsicles. I mean, people, I know it sounds silly, but it's true, people
No, I
like
can
Matt.
see it with bands like Pet Shop Boys or something like that. Yeah, I can see your influence with Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah, even people like Madonna, Gaga, Lana, they've stolen so
Lady
many
Gaga,
ideas from me. They all stolen so many ideas from me. A lot on the
Madonna.
visuals. I don't mean the
Yeah.
music so much, but the visual. I mean, I remember in 1995, Madonna sent some people to see my gig in LA, and that's when I used to. They told me, the people from the club, and that's when I used to wear all these S&M, clothes. And that's when she did the book Sex.
Right, okay.
I mean, she did her Madame X. I did a CD called Madame Sex. Then she did a CD called Madame X. And it's all the time. And the clothes, and so many designers have told me, God, this is your clothes. It's nonstop, nonstop. But of course,
Mhm.
I'm just a little singer with no record company, with no people to protect me. And so, I've had it quite rough,
Yeah.
but I'm not dead yet.
No, definitely not.
So, so that's one positive thing.
hmm
And you never know what's around the corner, And even if I don't get my big break, I would have done what I had to do. But I'm trying to find a way. I'm trying to find a new project, that could
uh
perhaps be more that maybe people could relate to, that. But I definitely want to find a project which relates to what is going on now. So I'm not really like I will never be like the obvious pop singer, I'm
hmm
far too controversial in a way for that. Um, but I don't know, somehow. From being this kind of punky at school, somehow I think I've had a beautiful star because I have worked with a lot of great people. So
Yeah.
that's a start, that's a start. I've
hmm
always attracted interesting people. Um, Now I think it's time that I reap the rewards of my work,
hmm
and so we'll see. We'll see what happened this year. This year is supposed to be a good year. I know it's already a quarter of it down the line, but you just never know. You
Never
never
know.
know.
So
I don't. Yeah, go
You,
on.
you went from Paris to London to LA and then back to London, and you've stayed in London since then.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I played a lot in Japan. I was
Oh,
quite
really?
successful. Yeah, I was quite successful in Japan. I did commercials in Japan, um, which saved me financially, and so I should go back to Japan really. So
Yeah.
eventually, but I had like hordes of girls, groupies
Oh,
following my
wow.
cars, calling me in the middle of the night at my hotel and saying, "I want to die for you." I mean, it was very, very intense. It was fantastic. So of course I would love to go back there.
Mhm.
Many places I haven't been to. I mean, I've sung obviously in America. I've sung in Mexico. I've sung, in lots of interesting places. But there's still places I haven't been to, like India, China, Russia. I haven't been to these places.
Right.
So if the gods are willing, you know, I might still have another chapter to my career.
Hmm. Well,
You know.
are you working on what are you working on visual art at the moment with the
Yeah,
paintings and
well,
things?
I'm always doing stuff like I'm always painting and all that. And I started to write some. I started different projects with different people, but they don't necessarily come to
Hmm.
completion. But
Hmm.
I have an idea. I have an idea
Okay.
for a new thing, a new concept, which will involve visuals and music.
Right.
Which I'm not going to reveal all
No, of
here.
course not. But you don't play any instruments or anything like that.
Yeah, I do play guitar,
Oh, really?
but
Okay.
I only play guitar to help me write songs, like, okay, do you want to see my beauty? I mean, I have an acoustic guitar, of course, but I do have this little guitar, which is
Okay.
great, which I love because it's got a
Oh, it's nice.
mic. Can you see it on there?
Yeah, it
Or
looks like a yeah,
I
like
can't
a
see what you're saying. I can't see what you're saying. I
you're
don't
a
know
little bit
what.
dark, but it's okay.
So this actually has a Shut up. This actually does have a Gibson mic, so it has a great punk rock song. So I wrote a lot of songs on that.
It's beauty. It's
I
beauty.
got this offered to me on my 18th birthday, so I've had it for a while.
Wow.
It's an Epiphone. There's a few people
Oh,
who
it's
have it.
beautiful. I love it.
It's a great little guitar. So
Wow. Okay.
I'm not gonna make it a tour of my studio, but basically it's all here. I've got it all here.
Hmm.
And so I'm always dabbling, doing
Right.
something. And
Oh, you've frozen. I think your connection. Anne? Oh, we lost you. Hmm. Ah, you're back. Oh,
yeah,
that was
I don't know
strange.
what happened.
That was very strange.
Huh.
Okay. Well, you're back. Hello.
I've got my window behind, so it's reflecting. Everything's reflecting. So what were we saying? Oh yeah, an idea is like a story. It's really important. Do that again. Do that again. The
Ah,
hands.
peace. More like
It's really
I'd like to talk about anarchism with you actually, because
okay.
I've been described as an anarchist. I've never
Okay.
called myself an anarchist, but people say I am. And also, I've never called myself an artist either, because I don't like to give any kind of label and any kind of
Sure.
thing. But anarchism has always been I've been accused of all my life. I don't even really know what it means. And I can see that you were doing some little anarchism, little
Oh yeah,
paintings
yeah, yeah.
on shirts, and I just wondered what it meant to you.
Yeah, I mean that's also kind of private joke with ex-boyfriend. But the thing is, people have different idea what anarchism is. But anarchism really is the power to one people. Is that the one person has no ni maître ni Dieu, as in the poem, no master, no God,
Hmm.
and basically no government. My friend, I have a friend who's a real anarchist, and he says, it's state without cops, you know. So basically, anarchism is like not being told what to do, it's to being your own master.
Yeah.
Right. But then, it can also imply a society with chaos, So, it implies the idea of a world without leaders, which is very utopic, really. So I like to see anarchism as, a society where people ideally could think for themselves.
Hmm.
In anarchism, it's the idea of intelligence, isn't it? The idea that you are your own master. So that's quite important to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, a society based on chaos, obviously, that's utopic. So that's why people have different ideas of what it means to them.
Hmm.
But to me, it's definitely rejecting bullshit. To me,
Right. Yeah, yeah. Me too. Rejecting
rejecting
bullshit.
the bullshit.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna have a little bit of my tea. Look,
Yeah, I've
can
got
you
some too.
read my daily routine? Can you read it? Oh,
Yeah,
what's
no, hold it up a bit and up, up. No, can't see it. My eyes are bad. Bit closer. Light.
my daily
Get
routine?
up in the morning and then what?
Be amazing,
Be amazing.
and three, go back to
Go
bed.
back to bed. That's enough for me. I have my tea here.
So, we could do with a little bit more anarchism because the people, they really believe anything they get told, that it's become this cattle. So we could do with a bit more anarchism,
Or
that's for
just
sure.
empowering people and like what I thought it means like the local communities have their own little understanding between each other and we don't need any policing or government because all the
Right.
problems are local. And I was in Palestine recently, and I'm traumatized. And they told me that they don't really need our help. What you have to do is help the people that are immediately around you, and that's what I think. That's my idea of anarchism: just helping your neighbors. But
Okay, fair enough.
yeah.
But some people also mistake anarchism for selfishness.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. No.
An
So
anarchist because it's all about them. Go in.
I
So,
thought
but
the
no, that's not
opposite.
what it means. That's not what it means.
No, it means the opposite. It's all about helping each other out.
That's one way to look at it. But
Yeah.
people are funny.
Was
So I can't see
Rimbaud an
myself.
anarchist? You know Rimbaud?
Well, I mean, who wrote Ni Dieu ni maître? I mean, we talked about Rambo earlier because of Patti Smith.
Hmm.
That thing you saw on internet, there were words of Rambo that I wrote around
Ah, was it
beside
really?
anarchism. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because there's this the beginning of one of Rimbaud's poem, which I love, which I did put in music a long time ago. Jadis, j'ai assis la beauté. Okay, but Ni Dieu ni maître is an anarchist and revolutionary French person. It basically expresses the total refuse of any authority,
Yeah.
God, politics, right. And it was actually Louis Auguste Blanqui who
Hmm.
declared this in 1880, which is really interesting because the Chat Noir, that cabaret club, was born in 1881. So
Right.
just 1 year before that. So it's interesting to see that was the flavor that was going around at the time.
Yeah.
Because, it followed, I mean, the whole point historically is that it followed the Franco-Prussian War. So, everything is always, relating to economics or politics. And in
Mm.
this case, at that point, when the cabaret appeared, it was following this period of defeat, following the Franco-Prussian War. So there was this you know, kind of depression,
Hmm.
not economical, but just kind of not being very happy. And this kind of idea of anarchism seems to have been born then.
Yeah.
and cabaret, the cabaret, which was very, very radical. So there was something happening around these times. So anyway, yes, next.
No, I think the time now is right for something like this to happen again. Like you
Yes,
say, but maybe it has to happen offline, which is a problem to get people have to start putting
it
their
is a
their
problem, but
flyers on the trees again, and become more
they can't
active.
keep track of everything on the internet
Yeah, it means that if it doesn't happen on the phone, it seems like it's not real for a lot of people.
as well, because everybody's so it's like a drug, everybody's so hooked.
And they actually
Myself,
go
including
places just
myself.
to get the photograph. And like people come here and they take the photograph and they leave, and they don't even enjoy the actual place.
Right, right, right. What is behind you? Is that your art?
No, no, no. It's just so just a random flag of some African country. I think it might be
Right,
Zimbabwe. I'm not sure.
right, right, right.
It's more like absurd. I like absurd things and random things. I think my mum bought me it for some reason because she
Right.
always, I don't know why.
Yeah, so it's like time that the circle, goes around and goes back because honestly, I mean, we live in extremely decadent time,
Well,
like
it's
the
worse
Roman
than
times, but it's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
it's the fall. It's definitely the fall of the of some sort of empire. I mean, look, there was the fall of the Roman Empire. Is it the
Mhm.
fall of the American Empire? Because
Well, I don't know if you've probably never experienced apartheid because you haven't been to South Africa. But what's happening now is like, or just we've seen the movies where in the Second World War, you've seen the movies where everybody wonders, oh, how could the German population let this happen, And what's happening now, my understanding is it's a lot worse, and they've just replaced the Jewish people. I don't know if you are Jewish. Are you Jewish?
no.
They've replaced the Jewish people with the Arab people, and they're kind of doing the same thing. I'm talking about the
Mm,
Germans here, and I spent a lot of time in Germany, and I get in
right.
trouble all the time, and I, I've lost a lot of relationships. We're just trying to understand what's going on there in places like Munich. Have you been to Munich?
Very briefly.
Yeah, or in Berlin it's different because Berlin's like New York to America, but all
Mm.
around Germany it's a very strange place.
Well, I've been to Berlin twice. I've been to
What?
Frankfurt once. I played in Frankfurt. I performed in Munich, but I was there very briefly.
What would you think of this statement? The Germans have a don't have an internal moral compass, so they have to have all these rules. I mean, I don't want to be
Right.
racist or anything, but internal moral compass, they seem to lack one, so that's why they're into rules and structure and everything's very pragmatic. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
Really?
don't know the German culture very well. I know some people really like the German culture, and they have a lot of cabarets there going on, but I can't
Mhm.
say that I know it very well.
Well, just before the war, they were having these beautiful wooden tents, and the culture was amazing of this time, just before
Right.
maybe the 20s. The music and the culture was fantastic.
Mm, 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 mm.
Anyway, sorry. Let's go back to your story. Anyway,
Yeah, well,
I was wanting
culture
to.
is fascinating, and it is about culture, and it is about the survival of the human race. But in which way? I mean, I just wrote a song about the survival of the human race through love, because
Mhm.
it's not going to
Really?
survive
Can you read
through.
it out? Have you got it there?
Yeah, it's not finished,
Ah, well, you could
but
read a few
it's not
lines.
going to be, it's definitely not going to be through people like Elon Musk. I mean, that's for sure.
Sorry, I didn't get that. People
The
like who?
survival of the human race is not going to be through people like Elon Musk.
Oh, no, 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 no. These are evil people. I mean, they're
No, but
all
that's what I'm
these
saying.
elites.
That's what I'm saying. So I wrote this song, I don't consider it to be a hippie song. It's a kind of different kind of thing. And it's about the survival of the human race and it's about love. Maybe one day I will finish it, but I always have many different ideas in my mind, and it's about
Mhm.
the one that gets finished first.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I think I've got like autism or something, or all these new things that they have now. I've got them all, I think.
So you're a musician.
Yeah, I do everything, but I can't focus on one thing. And yeah, well, yeah.
How did you end up in Mallorca?
In Mallorca, I ended up here because of a girl, really.
Of
There's
course,
always a
it's
love story
always
behind every movement, I think.
yeah.
And I've stayed for my son, but it is a bit of a cultural vacuum here. Um, so I love to go to Glasgow and places and I've tried to do my own thing here, but it's not so easy because it's very
Right,
commercial, touristic
right,
economy culture.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Anyway, so when you returned from LA, you've stayed in London. Do you live alone? Have you got family or kids or anything?
No, no, no. It's me, myself, and I right
Wow.
now.
No love, many
Um,
lovers.
some occasionally,
Good.
if they're not too difficult, or if they don't find me too difficult.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
But yeah. So when I came back to London, it was the big explosion of art in London because before that it was a small
Mhm.
thing,
Was
art
that
in
the
the
Tracy Emin sort of time?
yeah,
The
kind of
newspaper.
thing. I mean, and the pop, the Britpop and whatever, but I branched out more than on experimental work. And that's kind of when I started art, really. That was the beginning of my art phase.
Hmm.
So a lot of the poetry and experimental work kind of went with the art. So I started to do lots of more like art performances, and I
Right.
started to have exhibition, and it was great because that would allow me to also perform at my exhibitions, which because the music business had changed so much, and I'm not the kind of singer that does these big tours. So I like to do what I like to do at the time. So the kind of experimental art thing allowed me to do that, and I had a lot of fun for 20 years. I
Right.
guess the last 20 years it's been art stroke music. Um, so it was a very different place to be. I was definitely my own boss.
Hmm. You didn't have a
No record
manager or
company.
an agent or anything like that.
No, no, the problem with the business that they want things that are the same because then they can plug them. They can if everybody's the same, it's easier to sell. If
Hmm.
you're different, you have to invent a different selling spiel.
And you never had
So
like a normal job or a job.
no, I had little jobs here and there, but not much. I mean, I have done tarot
Oh, okay,
professionally.
yeah. Wow.
It never lasts long because I get bored. But I never had a job, no, just little
Hmm.
jobs here and there, but not that much. I mean, I've been quite lucky because even with the art, I managed to, in the last 20 years, I've lived out of my art. So I really thank art because
Right.
I made more money with, not that I made loads, but more with visual art than I did with music.
Yeah,
So
of course. Yeah, you paint the
So,
painting and you
it
sell.
was fascinating, but my first love is music.
Hmm.
So I've done the whole art thing, and that is now not the same because since COVID, everybody's an artist now. And so what you see in the galleries is very samey, very decorative, very
Hmm.
uninteresting. So I'm kind of, I want to work on this new idea. And, sometimes you work on something, but something else happens. It's all about the energy you put out there. And as long as you put the energy out there, which is not always easy, something comes back and you never know where it's going to come from. I
Yeah,
mean, at
I
the
learned
moment,
this from yoga. Yeah,
hmm?
from
At
yoga.
the moment I'm talking to Westminster Council. So I know it's a funny one, but it's infiltration.
Tell me.
uh, about doing some projects, about maybe some workshops, or some lectures, maybe about cabaret or art,
Mhm.
So I'm always, pushing the boundaries, of what's possible to do because I love people. I mean, I'm very much a a people's
Yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah.
And so, you know, everything is kind of interesting to me, and I never studied art, for example. So that's something that just came to me. But I knew a lot about art because a lot of my boyfriends were artists.
Mm,
So it kind of came, and that's interesting as well. I mean, I never learned music either. That's because growing up with punk taught me I could do it myself. So,
yeah.
I think my interest doesn't come from the craft aspect, but from the communication aspect. What can I communicate and how? You know.
Hmm.
So that's what I do. So any possible avenue interests me. But
Hmm.
of course, the people in the world who are still interested in thinking and teaching thinking are shrinking. But there
Yeah.
will still be, as Leonard Cohen says, the light, well, there's a crack and the light comes in.
Yeah, through the crack, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
definitely. I hope you're right.
so yeah, I am because look at history. Look at history. Always, it's cyclical. Always,
Mhm.
always, always the same happens. People are trying to take over the world. Tyrants, people are trying to dominate. There's these awful wars, but so far the people have always won. If you look at it, I'm not
Mhm.
trying to be over positive because obviously it hasn't been very nice with all the wars, but if you look at it, and there was even in the ancient times in Mesopotamia, there were even tyrants that created things that they called smart city. So you see what I mean? The idea of smart city is not even new. They created
Mhm.
the smart city with slaves. I mean, obviously it wasn't about computers, but so that and they wanted to rule in that way, but the people rebel. The people always rebel.
Mhm.
Right now it's difficult to see because we have a lot of demonstrations, but demonstrations don't seem to change things that much. I mean, music has always been a very, very strong glue, and a strong factor that can change things, but it's not doing it at the moment. It's not
No,
doing it at the moment. And so I pray, and it has to happen. It will happen because if not, it's the end of the world. Okay.
yeah, it could be. I mean, even with music, there's not many. There's a few bands that speak out, like Massive Attack, maybe. There's a
Yeah.
couple of young hip hop artists. Like, there's a band called Kneecap. Have you heard of Kneecap?
Yeah, but it's all done the music's not very good for a start. So
No, it's
that's
more about what they're saying.
yeah.
With
But the
Massive
music
Attack,
has to be
the
good.
music's okay.
Yeah, but Master Attack's a long time ago.
Well, they done it. They just done a track with Tom Waits, which is quite
Right.
interesting.
I listened to that. I haven't heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? It's like um yeah, so eventually something will happen, but I hope not too long, you know.
What do you think of a guy like Serge Gainsbourg? I mean, when I was 16, 17, I used to love him, and now he's kind
Right.
of a little bit cancelled, and his daughter seems to talk a lot of shit. But
His daughter, I mean, daughters of famous people, I mean, that they always seem to miss the point, because if in a way, it might sound like a cliche, but I think if you don't struggle, it
uh
doesn't really work because you don't understand
right,
life. I mean, Serge Gainsbourg is somebody who struggled,
he
and
struggled, yeah.
he certainly understood life. So I mean, Serge Gainsbourg was somebody who wrote great songs, who took a lot of ideas from a lot of people, who had a great cynical sense of humor,
Hmm.
and who was an agent provocateur.
Yeah.
So of course, fantastic, great words, great lyrics, great lyrics.
Hmm.
But the daughter, I'm not keen. I mean, I'm sorry, but
No, she's just a fucking Nazi, actually. But anyway,
yeah, I've seen a bit of that. I haven't followed
it's
completely, but I've seen a bit of that. And
a
and
shame because, yeah, I don't know. I like Jane Birkin as well. I've seen her in concert, and she done a
mm,
arabesque. So she done
yeah,
all the songs in Arabic, and which is very nice. Like
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
a nice
I mean,
place. But
I mean, it's complicated because also you can be a great artist and not necessarily a great person.
Mm,
The two don't really go together.
yeah.
Not always. The world is a mishmash of contradiction,
Hmm.
but at the moment, to me, I see it as a stagnation. I mean, right wing is growing. Right wing is growing. That's moving in the wrong direction. But in terms of life, joy, love, it's going in the wrong direction. Also, because I don't know where you are, but in London, I have a lot of friends who have gone crazy.
No,
I,
I'm
I
going crazy
mean,
because I can't afford to live here. It's
yeah, I
just
mean, we've all gone a bit crazy, but
there's nowhere to live.
I'm
I'm
talking
s- I'm
truly crazy. I
I'm
mean,
just glad I
truly.
didn't take the vaccine because I can see when I go home that people that are all zombies, like you say. And I'm not saying it's directly because of the
Right, right.
vaccine, but it's something's wrong with everyone. They seem to be brainwashed.
I know it's horrible, and even intelligent people, either
Yeah.
brainwashed or, I mean, I have a friend. He's a writer and he's intelligent. He's gone completely schizophrenic. So I'm
Yeah,
not saying just a bit crazy. He's gone completely
completely.
schizophrenic. You know, and
Mm,
people are going crazy because a world where you don't have spirituality. I mean, before
mm.
at least you had the church for whatever it's worth. But that's been replaced by the pop stars, and now the pop stars have nothing to say. So, at least before you had great rock music. So now that doesn't exist either. So where is the spirituality? People need an outlet.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, you frozen
And
again? Oh no, you're okay. Yeah, I mean that's a part of my trauma is going to Palestine, and then you realize these stories are real about Mary and Jesus and all that. They're real stories, and it's strange that they detached Palestine and the story of me, Mary and Jesus, and then they it's really traumatic for me to see that they can do this another Holocaust there.
Mm.
And they don't, and they're doing it in the name of Christianity or something. It's weird.
But
It's a
yeah,
weird.
but they always have to use something. But the world is in a really
Mhm.
traumatic and
But it's not
dramatic state.
spiritual at all. This is what
Right.
spirituality comes probably the heaven inside and things like that. I think that's maybe what you mean from
And
spirituality. Is
music
it
has helped. Music has always helped.
music?
Not just music. I mean,
It's like a
obviously,
healing prayer. Like the best music is like a prayer and it heals, you know? Is that what you mean?
sure, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, you know, in the old days, I guess it wasn't just music. It was also people who traveled and spoke.
Well, people like Django Reinhardt and like George Brassens and all that, and Brel as well. That it was like a spiritual gathering. You could see
Oh,
that.
of course, of course, of
But
course, of
that's
course.
to get that back. I
And they
don't know
took
how.
risks. I saw this film about Django fairly recently
Uh-huh. Oh, you're breaking again.
with some of his musician. My father in Paris was part of that scene.
Oh, really? Hot Club
Just
of
going
Christ.
before, huh?
Was it called Hot Club of Christ or something like that?
Hot Club,
Hot.
Hot Club. The kind of jazz was called Hot Club.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But which I didn't know is that when Django lived in Paris, Hitler wanted him to play for him, and he refused. And he
Hmm.
had to escape. And he went for months through Switzerland, through the snow. He hid. He hid in the mountain, and he never played for Hitler, but he nearly got shot. He had a
Oh,
really difficult time with that. And I never knew that chapter of his life.
me
And
neither.
the film is online. It's called Django.
Okay.
And it's not an artistic film. It's more like a TV film, but it's great, great part of his story.
Is
Great
that the
part.
Sean Penn movie? Is it? Is Sean Penn?
No, 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 no. It's no, no. It's not with anybody famous. I don't think.
Okay.
I find it. I'll send you the link.
No, I love that
Uh,
music, and and it's very spiritual for me, and healing. And you're saying that I don't know this spirituality. I don't know how because like people are using Christianity wrong. Uh,
but always people will always use whatever they can to control other people.
mhm.
Christianity or something else. There's always something, isn't it? The bad preachers,
Yeah,
the
it's just
corner.
the simple, just to stop being greedy is quite a spiritual, conscious decision to share things and even you sharing your time with me, I really appreciate it. And it is like I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No, it's
But
nice to talk to you.
yeah, and it's interesting just to find out about. I mean, what anarchy and spirituality and how you can combine these with music and art. Because that is the solution. It's there, with these things coming together somehow.
It's our Sunday church.
Which
Our
what?
Sunday service. We're Sunday, so it's church.
Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, Sunday's like the sad day for me without the
We are the
family.
service.
I was trying to I was pitching a concept for playing vinyl in one of the bars here, and I was trying to get them to understand about sad Sundays, and I would play vinyl, and people would love it, but they didn't
Okay.
see they
Okay.
didn't see the beauty in it.
So we don't have much time left.
We've got a few minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's my path. It's I think I have quite a different kind of path from a lot of people because I am an anarchist in the sense that I've followed my trajectory,
Hmm.
I haven't got the same path as a lot of people who enter the music industry. I'm kind of a maverick in that sense. And see what happens next. I mean, I have been lucky, as I said, even if I haven't become like super famous, I have been lucky. And now I'd like to be able to speak to more people because I don't see anybody who speaks out. I don't see many people, who are doing it.
No, there's no like Massive Attack, this band Kneecap. I don't know who else
Yeah,
in London. There's a guy called Bobby Gillespie, Scottish guy. He talks a lot,
yeah, yeah.
but he's full of kind of yeah, better not say. But
But it's the pop music.
it's the same as Patti Smith. I can see it's. I'm really happy you said that about her because it's been on my mind, and everybody looks up to her like she's some kind of saving the world, like people have the power.
Yeah,
But in the
but
end, she's having oysters and champagne in the fanciest places in
yeah.
Paris,
I
right?
mean, there's nothing with drinking champagne. There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
I don't think she promotes her real self. And apparently, I was talking to somebody who knew her before she met Mapplethorpe, and apparently they said she was always like that, always super ambitious,
yeah.
always like that. I mean, Horses was such a great album, and it came at the right time.
I love
So
Piss
that's
Factory.
fantastic.
She's got a song, The Poetry in Piss Factory. Do you know this song?
Yes, yes. So,
There's
it was fantastic that, and she's got a great voice and everything, but now it's all a bit the same, and it's all about selling her persona. I don't find any spontaneity about it,
no,
and different times I've got different people speaking for them. I mean, I think, the punk time, for example, is gone, and the people who spoke them don't necessarily understand and can speak for the times that we live in. I think every different time have different differences about them and need different people to talk about them.
mm,
Uh, so, we will see. I'm not
we
sure
will
what the
see.
future has, but one must keep on fighting.
Yeah.
I'm sure a song says that. I'm sure a song says that. So on May the 1st, I will go to the demo.
Okay.
On May Day, I will go to the demo with my anarchist friend,
That's next weekend
Peter.
because there's one in yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it's
all over the
Friday.
world. They have the May Day.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
will go with my anarchist friend.
Good for you.
You know,
That's great. May
I,
the first and yeah, fight the power, I
I
suppose.
go where the energy feels right.
Energy feels right.
Yeah, I go where
Okay.
the energy feels right.
Right. Okay.
You
You
know,
can use your stick to find it. Where's your stick?